Welcome back, everybody.
Hey, how we doing? How we doing? How we doing?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Whatever movie it was. Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal. The guy who plays the Falcon, I think is he drove. If I remember correctly, in Twisted Metal 2, he drove like the orange Challenger.
Not Outlaw. Roadkill?
Roadkill.
Right.
I think he plays Roadkill. I think. I'm not 100% sure. Because this is...
I just saw the teaser they had. It was before you sent me that video. I just saw
Fallout,
the teaser they had where it's just... You see like...
Sweet Tooth?
Yeah, Sweet Tooth in the back of...
Yeah, that looked...
But I didn't... Like, it just said a trailer for upcoming something or other. And is this another game? What is this?
It's Peacock's doing it. It's going to be a show.
A series?
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm actually kind of stoked.
Probably. You know what? I hate it when they put out all these series because I inevitably will not watch any of them. And not because, like, I rebel against series. Well, I guess I kind of do rebel against, like, miniseries and everything they do. Because it's just, it's going to be, what, 6-8 episodes? Or
a miniseries.
Maybe, yeah, and
yeah,
it's so much longer than a movie. And I just don't want to commit my time
to
it.
But think about it, with all the Twisted Metals that have been out.
Yeah. And really, I with the emulator, I've gone through and played them. I'm like, they're not as good as... It's one of those games, to me, it's like, not as good as what I remember.
Well, of course not.
Twisted Metal 4 was still pretty good. I turned that on. I'm like, this
Twisted
is good.
Metal Black was alright.
Twisted Metal Black was fun.
Yeah.
But, like, I played Twisted Metal 2, which had... This was... I know now it's complete nostalgia. Like, I was like, Twisted Metal 2, fuck yeah. Because that was the first one I played. And I played it, I'm like, wow, this is rough.
I played... See, that's the thing. I knew about 1. I played 1.
Oh, I heard about 1.
And I was like,
just
this
never,
is cool.
That was before I bought my PlayStation. So.
And then when 2 came out, I'm like, oh, okay, how do you make a sequel to this? And then I played it, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, Calypso, like, yeah.
Calypso, give him the wish and shit.
Yeah. And then once I beat it the first time, and you realize, oh, there's a different ending for each character.
Yep.
So it's like a double-edged sword. You're like, yes. But I'm like, fuck, I gotta go through this how many more times?
And some of those characters really sucked.
Yeah. I liked Axel. I don't like Axel now. At the time, I loved Axel. Like, I can't stand Axel. He's such a target.
What's not appealing about a giant black man?
Being basically crucified on his own tires. Like, what the fuck? But if you go through it and you can unlock Minion,
yeah,
that big tank, like, yeah, hell yeah.
No, I liked Axel. See, I liked Axel because he had the power of a big vehicle, but he had the nimbleness of Mr. Grimm.
I liked...
If you remember, Mr. Grimm was on the motorcycle. He was the worst.
Yeah, he couldn't turn worth shit.
He was hard to hit.
Spectre? I use Spectre. I use...
Outlaw, Roadkill.
No. Was Mr. Grimm on the bike or was Mr. Grimm in the hearse?
Mr. Grimm later on was in the hearse.
That's right.
No, yeah.
They switched their vehicles.
Yes.
That's right.
Outlaw was cool. Roadkill, Spectre were good. Grasshopper was okay.
I use Grasshopper. What the hell one was Grasshopper?
Like the buggy, like the Safari vehicle.
In 2?
Yeah.
I have to turn it back.
Her power was the jump.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Which was great because when you were turning and you saw the homing missile coming. Boing,
yeah, and the tight multi-level ones is great because you could just jump onto like an overpass.
Yep.
Like, son of a...
Never mind chasing you prick.
Yeah.
Nowadays, that would be a good... If they remastered that and made an online battle version, that'd be cool.
Oh, they have in many other types of games that are just spiritual successors to Twisted Metal. If they redid it and... if they did it well, like they did with... which I actually just picked up today. Destroy All Humans. That game. I just picked up the remastered one, the remade one.
Yeah.
Not remastered, remade. I haven't...
The remake.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet.
Oh, shit.
But the first 2, I love the original ones because it's a nice throwback to the 50s.
Did you know that there was a fan theory that Axel was Jax?
That's quite... Is it even made by Midway?
It was just one of those gamer fan theories.
Oh, it was just one of those.
It was never really like, here's your connections. It's Axel is. Or Axel
it's
is
just there's two black guys with no arms. Clearly, it's the same guy.
Well, no, because apparently, if I remember correctly, there was some bit of Axel's story about him being military or something like that, and his father punishes him for doing something and puts him in the contraption, and then he rips his arm off and leaves to go to do whatever, chase criminals, something like that.
Who, Axel?
Yeah, and then of course Jax is a cop who loses his arms due to something.
His father put him in a device, and
I mean, Father O'Reilly put a lot of devices in me.
Yeah, that's why you wear all black now, Axel.
Oh, I am definitely black from the waist up. Just so all you ladies know.
I just...
How is that not? It's not. It's a compliment.
Is
Aussie.
it?
Aussie lemonade. It's not carbonated, at least. It's not soda.
It really? Oh, Rockstar put out one like that before.
Yeah,
or
this
they
is,
have or do or whatever. I haven't had one.
A monster.
I haven't had an energy drink in... I got to be going on 5 years now.
I probably have, honestly, 1 or 2 a week. Most of the time I have the flavor. Well, no, I'm not kidding. Ever since the bottles and cans, I'm skipping days now.
Next time it's only going to be 1,500 cans and not 3,000?
I hope not. 1,500 is a lot better than 3,000. And it was only about 9 months, if you were going to ask how long did it take to save up that many cans. It was about 9 months.
But it wasn't just you, right?
No.
It was just mostly you.
It was mostly me. Fucking Christ.
9 months, 3,000 fucking cans. What the fuck is wrong with you?
It averaged out to be about
disgusting. That's
8 to 9 cans of soda a day. That's nothing. Really? That's something to you? Back when we first started hanging out?
Okay, what's your new... Go ahead.
Back when we first started hanging out?
Oh, yeah?
It was like 2 or 3 2-liters and bottle and cans a day.
And you know what the kicker is, everybody? He's already had a kidney stone. 3,000. And that was over a year ago. So 9 months, 3,000 cans. I've learned my lesson. I couldn't even get the sentence out. Oh. What an asshole.
What was it? Diamonds are forever, James Bond. Kidney stones are painful.
You're making diamonds in your kidneys.
It's the new James Bond.
I just watched the newest one finally.
No
today.
Time to Die. Good,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that was good. And you know what I watched right after it? Just a cherry on top? Zillafoot. It's like 80 minutes. It's a micro budget, not even low budget. It's a micro budget film. It would be like something that we made, like our first attempt at making a movie. That's what it is. It's fucking off the wall bad, but it's self-aware.
Check that out. Did you watch the Terrifier 2?
I own it.
Have you watched the credits? Bottom right corner. Touch the screen so before it doesn't dark out.
Oh yeah, there it is. I see it.
Yeah, I'm famous.
You're a little bunch of horror movie famous.
Fuck yeah, dude. Honestly, it's either go big or go home, and to me, that's going big. Low budget B-rate films are the shit.
You know,
we enjoyed how many of those? Come on.
Well, the movie I watched isn't really a horror film. It's more of a monster flick. I guess.
Zillafoot?
Yeah, if you could call it that. It's on Amazon.
All right, I'll try to torture myself through it.
It's definitely a movie. If you watch it with a bunch of people, the more people you got to watch with, the better it'll be, because there's so many obvious foul-ups and just things left in there, like bad cuts. There's one, I think it has to be purposeful, like the way it was put together. It has to be. There's no way it's not, because there's a part where they have a news anchor reporting what's going on the ground, and he's wearing a luchador mask, and he starts going, it's like, well, the monster's coming from uptown, and fuck, what's it called? And he just stops in the middle, and then all of a sudden it cuts and starts again. He goes through his lines again, and then it cuts again. Well, the first time he goes through, there's no audio. And then it cuts, and then he starts over, and he goes again, and that's where he stops and gives, like, what's the line? And then it cuts again, and he starts over again.
It was probably intentional.
It has to be.
Like, they're eating her, and then they're going to eat me.
No. But Troll 2, Troll 2 tried to be a horror movie, or at least a sci-fi flick. It tried. You can't even say that with a straight face. No, it did. That one tried. This one... It knows what it's doing. There's sections in it where they cut the audio of the original film and they dub over it. But then halfway in the same scene, without the camera cutting, it'll all of a sudden the dub will stop and you'll hear the background wind and stuff, and one of the girl or whatever will say her line, and then the dub cut, that audio cuts again, and then it goes back to dub, so it's silent and just imposed audio. It's
they got the 1997 free acid music program.
Yeah, dude, I have a lot of the explosion effects on the program I use to edit these fucking podcasts. I was going when I was watching the movie and the tanks are blowing up. I'm watching it and I see one of the explosions is a corner explosion they have, and you can see where it's cut at a 90-degree angle, so you can impose it in a corner somewhere.
Yeah,
and it's on a tank. I'm like, I have that. I have these exact explosions. They're on my program.
Speaking of Amazon, Jackass Forever's on there.
Yeah, we watched it a while ago.
It's good.
We went and binge watched all the Jackass movies. I think the Bad Grandpa wasn't that great.
I think
it had parts that were hilarious, and then there was a lot of dull in it.
Yeah.
Like the one, I think the most I laughed in that was the fucking giant fish with a dick on it they pulled out
out of the golf carts.
I saw because it was so out of the blue. It was so, I saw that and I started to crack up laughing. It was so fucking. And then when what was the one where he sits? I can't remember. He's in the furniture store, and whatever just launches him into the ceiling or some shit like that.
In Jackass Forever?
No, Bad Grandpa.
Yeah, they did that in Jackass Forever.
Yeah,
too,
they've done that in like 2 or 3 of them.
I think the best part was.
We'll get to news, people. Just
yeah.
Hold your britches.
I forgot what song the little boy was singing in the pageant.
Oh.
She's my
Warrant, Cherry Pie.
But what was the intro? Out on the ocean. Dude.
That's where those sex pageants originated from, is Jackass. Thanks, Johnny Knoxville. You fucked us up. What an asshole.
Yeah. No, I think it was a good. The homage they paid to Ryan Dunn was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's sad, the whole story with Ryan Dunn. And
now Bam's on the run.
And Bam, is he on the run now? Yeah. I know I guess they tried to make up that Bam fell off the wagon or some shit again.
All right.
No, it was with Steve-O. He's tried to make up. No, he's tried to make up with Steve-O. And this is a whole Twitter thread. It was like a battle back and forth between the two of them. And I guess like Bam's like.
Listen. I've always been a Bam Margera fan. I will always love the guy. I will always respect the guy, but he's got a lot of issues.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of demons.
Yeah, Ryan Dunn's death, unfortunate passing,
took a toll on him.
That I think was the nail in the coffin for him because he's never been right since.
Oh.
So,
do you want a water?
No, I'm good.
Let me have more sugar so I can get more phlegm in my throat. Anyway, Bam, go ahead.
So,
is that your back that just cracked? He's just like another kidney don't fall out of your ass.
Man, maybe. There's all kinds of different ways that can come out of me now. So, trust me, after the tube. After the whole procedure, there's probably the highway's probably expanded a couple of lanes. Okay,
it's to the Autobahn now.
You know what? Yeah, let me get a water. I'm gonna go back.
He's having a water. You heard it here.
You've seen it here, folks. Fucking Christ! Fuck you. So. That's actually helpful. So, fuck you. So, early on, all of the Jackass crew had to sign contracts. Kind of like agreement plans. Listen, because anybody who knows, Jackass isn't originally Jackass. It was Big Brother magazine. It started out Jeff Tremaine and not Spike Jones.
Didn't the Wild Boys do something before Wild Boys 2? Or no, that was like an internet thing they did on its own, and then that took off?
Yeah,
Something
well,
to that
no.
effect?
It started out like as a... I forgot. Actually, honestly, I forgot how Wild Boys got its origins, but it was a Dick House Productions.
Right.
So they all came from crazy shit.
Right.
And in order to be a part of Jackass, Jeff and Johnny sat down and said, look, we have some fun, but if we're going to do this, we have to take care of ourselves. Like, Preston, you can't exceed a certain weight limit. You have to stay below it.
Right.
Wee Man, you have to be able to pass a physical. Bam had to stay sober. Steve had to stay sober.
And rightfully so, because if you're going to build a brand with a bunch of different names, and suddenly those names fall off, and like you're hurting all of us. So it's really a unit, one giant machine.
So, Bam, going through a lot of his issues. He was on medications. Now, depending on what side you want to believe, Bam says there was prescriptions he had that he was on that popped him on a drug test. And they said, look, you failed. If you and they bounced him. If you ask Johnny Knoxville and Jeff Tremaine, these were very thorough, very full panel drug screenings. He had other substances in his system, so they had to. He either got sober or he couldn't be included.
Right.
He's technically. That's why you saw Bam in the one skit, the treadmill with the marching band.
Right.
Some of those ideas were his. The one.
Yeah, he's ranted about that too.
Yeah, and he's technically on paper still a part of Dick House Productions and Jackass. He just cannot be involved with them because he's
so
not.
Basically, he just gets royalty checks from what he was.
Oh yeah, he'll get money.
All right. I didn't really like the newer cast.
The newer,
they were all right, but I shouldn't say I didn't like them. It was
they weren't
kind of a culture shock. I'm like, you aren't part of the group. Why are you here? And it was really just random people. You know what I really didn't like? The woman that was in it, and this isn't like a
Rachel,
whoever it was,
Softer,
but like everything,
Wolfsetter, something like that.
Everything that they would do, she would just like play it off as like, no big deal. Like, and part of Jackass's appeal is that over the top sell. It's like pro wrestling, like they're over the top sell. Because some of that stuff, like I just as doing backyard wrestling, just dumb shit. Like
that
like,
didn't hurt.
Yeah, that's not as bad as like.
Pussy.
I mean, you go through like light tubes and stuff. It's not that. It stings a little, but it's not that bad. But you sell it because like the more you sell it, the more the audience is like, oh shit, that's part of it. And they were all doing that, but then they get to her and like she get fucking shot in the face or something. It'd be like, well, kind of hurt, but no big deal. I'm like, and it's just kind of a lull. I'm like,
yeah.
But
what about Johnny Knoxville's bull?
The
bull flip.
Oh, when he goes and his feet mark was on the top of the thing when he got flipped
the
upside
original,
down.
yes. In the original, which they during the credits they do the side by side,
right?
Where he's wearing the red shirt. And he's like,
yeah, he was wearing like a white suit and tie or a tuxedo or something like that, wasn't he?
In the first one, 20 years ago, he was wearing a red shirt, button up over the bull riding vest,
right?
And he put the blindfold on, lit the cigarette, threw it. He gets flipped. He gets up. He's fine.
Yeah.
This one.
This one he got knocked.
He's
the
wearing
fuck
like a magician suit.
That's right, a magician suit. He got knocked the fuck out.
He broke his wrist.
Yeah.
Broke a rib and got
just looked disgusting when he came down. I was like, oh. That's one of those ones where you watch it and you're like, oh, everything in your back tenses up. You're like, oh god.
But no, I mean, yeah, but they had to, well, that's the thing though too. they developed the persona of Jackass. So yeah, the newbies handing off the torch. Some of them, like the big guy Zach, he was cool. Poopies, Jasper, they were cool. The girl, the other dude, Jasper's dad, Dark Shark, he was comical.
He was just legitimately funny.
He should be part of the cast.
Yeah, just because he was like a gangbanger and everything. And
the best part, the spider mask. Yeah. If you actually pay attention, he's out cold for a split second. But that dude is so OG, so gangster, so thug. He's still deathlocked on those guys. He won't let go. Yeah, he's out cold.
He was legitimately funny. Like his reaction, just because they give the backstory, is like he's an old school gangbanger.
He served time in jail.
Yeah,
and then the vulture, he's like, no.
The vulture. Yeah, and his reactions were 100% legit.
Oh, had to have been. And that's it. That's what started Jackass. These guys did stupid shit where you're like, oh my god, that is making me gag.
Remember the old ones?
Yeah.
When they would just be in a shopping cart. And that was like the over the top thing. Like,
yep.
Oh, let's just roll in a shopping cart and I'll push you into
a bush.
Yeah, I'll push you into a bush.
Yep.
And that was only 20 some years ago, and we're all like, wow, these guys are nuts. And then we just watched the latest one.
And then of course Chris Pontius had to do it.
Party Boy?
Yep.
Yeah. Did he change his music?
No, music's still the same.
It's like some
but he's still
MIDI made like.
Yeah, like the Ames little recorder keyboard.
Yeah. He seems like he's getting tired of that thing though, because every time he does it, it's just like less and less enthusiasm. I was like, oh, God, do I have to do it again?
No, of course he had to drink cum. From the first Jackass movie where he drinks, he's like, that's horse semen. I'm actually really disappointed. They're disgusted with myself. This one he goes, yeah, that's semen. I think I prefer the pig semen.
Isn't that the one where they had the outtakes where they all get it dumped on them?
No, Dave England does.
There's a few of them.
They do this tap dancing skit.
No, there was interviews where maybe it's like 4.5 or something.
Yeah, they do dump shit on them.
Yeah, and they're doing like interviews, like a making of the movie.
Yeah,
and that's what I think it was 4.5. That's what that one. Yeah, it's 4.5, and they do a making of, and they interview Wee Man and all them, and each one they dump like 5 gallons of semen.
Yep, that was good.
I guess that's good. I don't know.
And it was entertaining to watch. The only thing I still can't believe is how physically, humanly flat you can make your penis.
Isn't that bizarre? And then still, what's his face ripped it out?
Apparently, our penis is most closely related to the octopus.
They're very, or a rat, or a mouse, or a bat. You know what else I can't believe?
I don't know about your penis, but my penis sure as hell can't chew through steel like a rat can.
Isn't that bizarre? Fucking rats.
Speaking of bizarre.
Someone made a comment that was a perfect analogy comparing Republicans and Democrats. They said that it was on Tim Pool, it was in the super chat or whatever. I think there was regular chat. One or the other. They go, the Democrats is like a diseased rat, and Republicans is like a fainted goat. I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Republicans.
Anyway, you know what else is surprising?
I know, right?
Is Tucker leaving, quote unquote, leaving Fox, but actually getting fired. That's what it was. And I'm sure you've heard something about that. It's been all over the place.
It blew up.
I guess what pushed it was, there's been numerous things that's pushed it.
So, don't mean to cut you off. This is you say numerous things, but this is the only thing I've heard so far. Apparently, he made some analogy about Fox not pushing other things like other other media platforms have. Like, it was if Fox said you had to buy My Pillow, but Fox didn't do that. But if Fox,
there was.
That's the only thing I've heard.
Because he compares basically what he was doing there was. I don't think that was it. I think because I know it. segment you're talking about. He compares if Fox was to push My Pillow, and because that was the science says blah blah blah. That was comparing like CNN pushing the vaccine and whatnot during the pandemic. I don't think that's what did it, but there's numerous times when he would kind of indirectly accuse Fox of being the exact same of CNN and ABC and all these, just pushing specific narratives, being a part of that giant machine, which really they are. And after this, after Tucker got fired, there's a whole Fox's stock dropped, like plummeted.
Oh, it's straight
because
up.
Because he was their moneymaker. He would get 3.3 million viewers during his show. The next one down got like 1.7.
Well,
and that was, I think it was Hannity. No, it was a 5. I think it was the Fox 5.
Let me ask you something. Are you surprised?
That what?
That this is happening with Fox.
Tucker got fired?
Not so much that, you know, that's part of it.
Right.
But, you know, Fox losing stock, Fox...
Because Tucker's fired?
Well, not just that. Fox losing stock because Tucker got fired. Fox being part of that machine.
No. Especially after, I think it was a few months ago, BlackRock bought like another 14% worth of Fox's stock, so they own like 41 or 42% of Fox.
Yeah.
BlackRock, who also owns like CNN and all these other fucking things. Like, that's what I say. And more now, I'm saying it, like, this Fox is no different than CNN, especially now. Like, there was a while where the only reason I would watch anything with Fox is because Tucker Carlson, because he was anti-establishment, but moreover, he was anti-war, he was anti-big pharma, and he was anti, like, whatever main narrative they were pushing all the time. And he would constantly call him out on shit. And you know that made Rupert Murdock, the owner of Fox, like, it piss him off.
Really?
Because
Rupert Murdock was the owner of Fox?
He is.
This is where I'm saying, are you genuinely surprised? Because who bought Fox not too long ago?
What do you mean?
The leaders in Go Woke, Go Broke?
Wait, you mean BlackRock?
No, Disney.
I've
seen this coming since Disney bought Fox.
That's a good point.
The minute Disney announced that they were buying Fox, I'm like, fucking great.
Yeah, but at the same time, Sean, and now
it's a trickle down theory. It's a trickle down effect. I mean,
maybe, but they still have, and I'm going to argue this point right after the fact, but they still have like Sean Hannity and the 5, like Gutfeld, and everyone likes Gutfeld. Like, all you Fox watchers and everything out there, everyone's like, oh, Gutfeld's hilarious. And I've watched his shit, and he's not fucking funny. Like, his jokes are just dull as shit. And like I said, I've watched Fox because Tucker was on it. And Tucker came from CNN.
I remember
like years
that.
prior.
Yep.
I think it was 2018 or something like that he went onto Fox. But then they fire him. And I guess they notified him like 10 minutes before they actually fucking fired him. They notified him, and then 10 minutes later, they made it public. That's what I meant to say.
Oh, they beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
They wanted to make sure.
It's like, oh, we're parting ways. And that's, you know, the typical business moves. Like, we're parting ways and blah, blah, blah. And not quite, but.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be interesting to see. And the reason I say that is because I don't watch the news, but I will highlight. I will see what CNN has. I will see what MSNBC has, ABC, Fox.
I just try to go for whoever's NewsGuard certified. And it's not CNN.
It's not so much NewsGuard certified for me.
It's just who's spinning what.
Who's exactly what's, because if you don't sit there and look at your phone almost 80% of the day, you're gonna miss shit. If you watch just one, you're gonna miss a whole world of news.
But that's why I don't so much watch the news. Like, I would catch Tucker on his clips on YouTube because that would cycle after something else I was listening to. I'll listen to Lute Rudkowski, or I'll listen to Tim Pool, or I'll listen to Steven Crowder, which there's something to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll listen to all these other podcasters that have shows where they cover a whole bunch of topics that really stand out, and they'll be like, oh, shit. And then if it really stands out, I'll go and look it up and be like, oh, wow, there's something here. And then I'll throw it in my notes or something.
That's what I would do. I would listen to the bits, the audio bits.
Yeah, like
audio
the
news
5-7 minute snips and whatever.
from each place. And then, oh, what was that? All right, look into that later.
Sometimes I like...
And that would get me rabbit holing down into a whole world of other news.
I guess Rupert Murdock actually pushed for him to be released, too, prior. Yeah. So
Your biggest moneymaker.
That's what doesn't fucking make sense.
That,
I mean,
that doesn't
it
scream
makes,
agenda, then what does?
Seriously. And that, as soon as they did that, because he was literally, he was the face of, like, they had Sean Hannity. With Sean Hannity,
Dude,
spits out the same bullshit as everyone else on Fox.
I don't know. The fact that you're saying Sean Hannity, I have no fucking clue what that guy looks like.
There you go. Like, I know just because it's always on my feed.
I know the name because you've said him a couple times.
My YouTube feed thinks I'm like a hardcore staunch Republican. So like after I listen to Tim Pool or something, or Conservative Twins, it'll just automatically go to a Fox clip.
Yeah.
Because that's what my phone thinks. Yeah. So like, no, but... but yeah, they don't have any other big name. Like they had Glenn Beck 10 years ago, and then he left because... Oh, what the fuck is the reason he got canned? Oh, shit. I think he spoke out against some war or something. I just heard this a few days ago, but it was another controversial thing for Fox, of course. But it wasn't like this huge, like he didn't say anything racial or anything like that.
If it was 10 years ago, it probably had something to do with Operation Enduring Freedom.
Yeah. But it was something to that effect, and he got canned. And now you listen to his stuff. His stuff is constantly doing the same thing as Alex Jones, same thing as probably Tucker Carlson's going to do now, because Tucker's still under contract, so he can't even really discuss. I've heard rumors, he signed with something on Pluto or Pluto TV or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Like, but he's still under contract, so he can't. So
they have to buy him out.
Yeah. So he hasn't, as far as my knowledge, he hasn't talked to anybody yet. But it'd be interesting to see where he goes from here. Yeah. Like, if he goes on the internet and does his own show, like Crowder and like Poole, like Joe Rogan, like any of them, like that's going to be a big show.
Oh, hell
like,
yeah.
He's got, like, because like I said, I'd like listening to Tucker because he fucking ruffle feathers, including AOC's feathers.
Oh my God.
She is the one that actually said, AOC's the one that said there should be something that regulates Tucker Carlson for inciting violence. Because of the January 6th thing. Because he showed the footage. One time he showed the footage. I think that had something to do with it, too. I think because he showed footage of January 6th, everyone, of course, in government's be like, grind their teeth. And because BlackRock, like I said, owns all of them, or majority owns all of them, they're going to trickle down to Disney, who's going to trickle down to Fox, who's going to trickle down to Tucker.
Like I said, trickle down effect.
But yeah, she said, they need to regulate.
Yeah, they need to regulate him. But hey, AOC, wasn't it how many Dems screaming, "Go out to the streets"? Protests aren't supposed to be peaceful. Punch them in the face.
Oh my God, yes, over and over and over. That was the Summer of Love. There's so many clips of a lot of them,
and there were deaths.
But that was different.
Yeah.
That was different.
You looking forward to I can't wait till next year, dude. Prices are going to drop on everything.
Not this summer, it's not. It's already going up.
No, right now. No, I'm talking about next year. I'm looking forward to next year, dude. Next year's going to be a fucking bank year. Ooh, baby.
Why? How?
2024.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to see anything. Even if somehow...
I'd
be willing to go out on a limb and just... put like not a whole lot, but like $10 down and say like somehow Democrats will get back in. Because at this point,
I'll put 100 down.
At this point, like knowing this, not to cut you off, but knowing this with Fox and knowing how the media works, like this is what I was gonna say before. When Tucker got fired, and I just heard a couple like, oh wait, BlackRock bought how much more? Wait a minute, like they're Rupert Murdock is actually pushing him out, his biggest moneymaker, because he said some shit that didn't fit their narrative. I'm like, and then I looked at him like, fucking Fox, and I've said this tongue in cheek, but 100% serious. Fucking Fox is no different than CNN. It's no different. It's one giant fucking machine. Republicans, Democrats, they're both out of their fucking mind. All they are is money making, pushing whatever bullshit they're gonna do, and we, unfortunately, are the ones that suffer.
With everything going on, and you've said it on the show many a times. There are even some people on the left going, wait a minute, hold up, something ain't right.
Yeah.
The last ditch effort with everything we're going on. And we say a lot of shit in tongue in cheek that what happens comes to fruition. Mm. We say this shit in jest. We make these jokes, people, and then this shit happens. So I'm going to say this in tongue in cheek. You fucking watch. The last straw grab that the Dems are going to have, that they're going to try to play, is watch everything go down. Everything go down. Look
they'll do it before the elections?
Look what, yep.
Oh, for sure.
That's why next summer...
100%.
Shit, excuse me for 1 second.
After these messages, we'll be right back. So added on, AOC, Tucker Carlson, Chuck Schumer, I guess, was interviewed by CNN. And CNN asked Schumer if the government has the right to tell media organizations what to put on their airwaves. His response, and I quote, "I think we not only have a right to tell Rupert Murdock and Fox what to do, but an obligation." So there again, if the government isn't, you can't deny that the government's not telling.
Yeah.
Because they just, verbatim right there. I think once Fox announced this, that he was fired and whatever, it's all over the social media. They lost $1 billion in stock.
Oh yeah, dude. They boom.
Fox Nation subscribers, after firing Tucker, they've lost a bunch of their subscribers to Fox Nation. Their stock nearly dropped 50%. I think it was like 47% or something like that. That 50%, and now it's lower than CNN.
Oh my God!
I made a note here. So that was Tucker Carlson. Before that was Dan Bongino from Fox. Don Lemon from
yeah, okay.
He was fired, but he was fired because he had, I guess he was difficult to work with. So he was fired from an argument or some shit like that he had on air with someone talking about black people and their, like, how they got their rights and why they got their rights. And someone was arguing, it's like, well, they have the right to, like, bear arms, and he was like, that's not what it was. This huge fucking to do. Now someone is filing sexual harassment
against Tucker.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
I guess they never met them. So of course that's gonna come out.
Jesus.
I think it's odd how someone in media speaks out against the establishment media, or when they speak out against the establishment media and whatever's accepted as the narrative, after they're let go, like, inevitably they have someone come out and accuse them of some kind of harassment, like they're a fucking Pez dispenser, and like sexual harassment, racism, sexism, genderism. Well, I guess the question now is what Fox is going to do, or what Tucker's going to do now that he's gone from Fox.
Yeah.
Like whether or not he's going to go to independent media, or I've heard this too float around, is Tucker running with Donald Trump as vice president. Vice presidential nominee. Or maybe just running for president in 2024, Tucker Carlson. I don't think I don't think either of those will happen, but
well, I guess speaking of public presidential candidacies and stuff like that, I guess there's a lot of serious talk about Trump trying to get DeSantis as his running mate.
I heard that rumor. I don't know if there's any. I didn't look into it, but I did hear that this week.
Oh, it's burning up the wires, dude.
Because if that was to happen, I just don't see, because running for president is kind of like, it's like marketing. Like if something's hot, you want to jump on it then. And right now DeSantis is hot. Mm-hmm. So if he doesn't run,
be a bad idea.
Well, if he doesn't run for president now, though, who's to say he has this kind of like momentum going in 4 or 6 years down the road from now? Like, because if he doesn't, he's not going to be in the talks. Like right now, that's I think where the argument is. Like, should he? I mean, it would probably be damn close to a shoo-in for Trump and DeSantis if they ran together. But that's two big egos, and DeSantis, like I said, is like really hot right now. So does he just kind of squander his possible run in 6 years to go in 2?
But yes and no. I mean, right now he's a hot topic right now because of all the stuff going on in Florida. But what's to say the next big issue he doesn't get a lot of wave going with? Because we don't know. Like 10 years ago, we didn't know trans, BLM, Antifa, Ukraine. No, this was not stuff that was on the docket for coming up to bat next.
Actually, in 2014, the whole Ukraine thing started. I guess that was something that was signed between UN, Ukraine.
But 10 years ago,
and
it's 2013.
That's right.
we weren't hearing anything.
We weren't, no. But, yeah, no, you're right. In the public eye, it wasn't really.
NATO decriminalizing pedophilia and many other sexual violent criminal crimes.
Did you look into that?
Yeah. Basically, in a court.
You sent that to me, and I'm like, I refuse. I'm like, that.
So the way the lingo, if you look into it. So here's the thing. NATO. What is NATO? North American Treaty Organization. Correct? Mm-hmm. A lot of these countries that have a hand in NATO, that are backed by NATO, protected by NATO, they support NATO. Did you know, fun little fact, right now, currently, there are 40 million known slaves in this world. Right now.
Right.
Half of that is sex slaves due to the sex trade and stuff like that.
Right.
Why aren't we fighting those wars? Why aren't we in those countries?
Why aren't we?
Rhetorical. Obvious reasons. But let me just throw the biggest one out. Because there's no profit. There's no support.
That's definitely a big one, yeah.
There's no gain for us to be involved.
There's no gain, and in some of those countries, if we go in, that's going to cause a bigger issue with other countries that maybe back them, including Epstein, including our own.
Correct. Which is why NATO is trying to decriminalize a lot of sex offenses, sexually based crimes. Because some of these countries that support us, or some of these countries that we support, it's not uncommon in some of these other worlds that a 20-something-year-old can marry a 13-year-old.
Right. No, I mean, they do it in the Amish community, in some Amish communities.
So, what's to stop us with everything going on now? This is where I thought it was funny. Seeing this, they're trying to nip it in the ass. They're trying to decriminalize it because with everything going on,
normalize.
Once we've not so much normalize. Once we've fucked up everything as much as we possibly can in this country, or as a country, our culture, our society has done enough damage, and there's really nothing else to break down anymore. What are we gonna do? We can't look inward anymore because everything's fucked. Mm-hmm. Let's look outward. And all the campaigning, all the stuff, Bush, W, what was one of his things? Democracy in the East.
Right. His idea of democracy in the East is like, let's install a Western government in the East.
One of his platforms.
Are you sure it's going to work? It works for us. Doesn't mean it's going to work for them. Clearly it worked magically.
One of his pitches for his platform, his campaign, was peace in the East. And that's when we weren't looking in.
And who did that? Who was the one that ended up doing that? I don't think it was anyone in the United States.
No.
Anywho.
All right, Ferris.
Godless devilish heathen communists over in.
So by decriminalizing it, and it's not to say to make it less of a crime. Rape is still rape. Pedophilia is still pedophilia.
For now.
I
firmly believe, or like
but
rape. I think rape will be rape forever. But pedophilia, I firmly believe.
Really? Tongue-in-cheek mode here. Let's go with tongue-in-cheek mode.
No, I think
if I sit there and say, hey, if you walk past that line in this house, anything that happens is consensual. You take that as a joke. You walk across that line and I rape you. Technically, I made, whether you took it as a joke or serious, I made a comment that absolves me of any and all guilt.
Sadly, in this day and age,
it'll work.
That's a point.
Sad but true.
Doesn't mean it'll come to fruition, but
sad but true.
I haven't done that in a while.
I know. Fuck you. I thought of it. So, it's not going to be. It's not going to the label crime is not going to come off of it. What's going to happen is instead of serving 7 years for murder in self-defense, a pedophile who molests a 5 to 7 year old little girl or little boy, they get 3 years maybe in jail. They'll get like 6 months to a year.
Right.
That's what they mean by the decriminalize.
Like, I firmly believe that we said it before. I mean, I've seen I just saw a video where there was a teacher like yelling at a student for calling out pedophiles. And the teacher was like,
it was a hidden audio recording.
They're minor attractive persons. And the student's like, no. Which is the same thing I would say. I think.
Yeah, you sent me that movie that was tanking. Like Rotten Tomato gave it like a 31%.
Which one?
The movie about the guy who's possessed and they're doing a psych eval. You sent me the video on TikTok.
Did I?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh, wait.
The guy's in an orange jumpsuit. Hold on.
I don't know. I sent you the clip of the Never-Ending Story and the Nothing, like the wolf and the Nothing. Like
that hit hard.
Yeah, like, you listen to it now, like, because if nobody has dreams and they have nothing left, they're easy to control. That's what it was.
Yeah, right there. There's the Never-Ending Story.
Yeah. Like that one, I watched. I'm like, I have that movie, and I listened to it. I haven't watched it in a while, and I listened to it. I'm like, damn.
23. I go to UCSB, and I also bartend.
Did I send that to you?
I sent it to you.
Oh, did you?
Sorry, folks at home. Can't show you that one.
It's
nope. Hold on a second. Excuse me. You want to record for me?
Pause again. After these messages, we'll be right back.
If the river runs red, time to go mudding.
What?
There's a saying.
There's a saying. It sounds so disappointed. There's a saying. Anywho, minors and everything. I have the.
Gotta love that OG shit. You gotta deal with it, right?
That's what I was gonna say in regards to the whole like, minors thing. Is what's the saying? Is again, I think it said it last week. The breakdown of society. Normalization. No, it's acceptance leads to normalization, and normalization leads to requirement. That's what it is. And right now, I firmly feel like they're trying to push the acceptance of the whole minor thing. And here it is. It's sexual conduct involving persons below the domestically prescribed minimum. This is from the United Nations itself. Prescribed minimum age of consent to sex may be consensual, and in fact, if not a law, the Geneva-based International Commission of Jurists wrote in March. With an assist from UNAIDS and the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, the report is titled The 8 March Principles for a Human Rights-Based Approach to Criminal Law Prescribing Conduct Associated with Sex, Reproduction, Drug Use, HIV, Homelessness, and Poverty. So they're slipping it in with a bunch of other shit.
Trying to find
it says here it does not actively call for decriminalization sex between adults and minors, but it states that children have both the capacity and the legal right to make sexual decisions.
Yeah, no, they don't.
But again, that's like opening the door just a crack and then putting their foot in just to keep it from closing. Like, that's all that is. It's just an intro to acceptance.
Oh, here we go.
And that's when it all starts. Is that the movie you're talking about?
This is the movie I'm talking about. So, someone said...
I sent that to you?
I can't find it now.
I don't remember a jumpsuit, but go ahead.
So listen to this.
Literacy is at an all-time high.
Okay, little premise. This movie is based about...
It's like the Hodge twins. They start a video over like 4 fucking times. Go ahead.
The worst part is, I didn't even think about it. You just said that. We're becoming the Hodge twins, not even trying. Except they're much better looking. And they're black from the waist down. We're black from the waist up. So between all 4 of us, we make a full black man. The math makes sense. Don't ask it.
Okay.
Don't question it. So the premise of this movie is this prisoner is on death row. Mm-hmm. And somehow, some way, the concept of him being possessed is, if the comes up, and they think he's trying to get off death row for being criminally insane.
Right.
So they send this psych eval guy in here to talk to him. This is the bit that somebody sent me that it was like, wow, this is a little fucking creepy.
We're working to eliminate racism, intolerance, gender inequality. People can love who they want, be who they want, do what they want. Diversity is no longer a dream. Hate speech is no longer tolerated. And politically, we're reclaiming the moral high ground.
James, the average high school graduate reads at a 6th grade level. You have basketball players making $30 million a year decrying racism, all while wearing sneakers made from slave labor. Here's something for you. Right now, your world currently has 40 million slaves. More than the Romans had at the height of their empire. You want to know the best part, though? Half of those, are sex slaves, James. And we did it all right to your face, James. And now there's evil everywhere. And no one even cares.
Literacy is at an all-time.
Yeah.
So I don't
know if the numbers are right, but I mean the premise, the idea is definitely spot on.
Oh, that might have been the video.
Nefarious is one of the only anti-woke movies that I see about this year, and I'm going to play you a clip, and I want you to take a wild guess as to why Rotten Tomatoes is tanking their reviews. Rotten Tomatoes gave the movie a 31%.
This is the full bit of that.
96. Some backstory: the guy in the orange is possessed by a demon.
Rotten Tomatoes
and the guy
is
she's talking
fucking.
to is his psychiatrist, and they're trying to figure out if he's making up the possession to escape the death penalty.
Your side's not doing too well.
Do you really believe that, James?
Yeah. We've never been freer. Literacy is at an all-time high.
That's right.
We're working to eliminate racism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hold on. Let me see if I can fast forward.
Just sex slaves, James. Bottom line is you're done. So, we didn't even come up with that one.
Oh, hold on.
You did, James. 40 million slaves. More than the Romans.
This is. It ends like right after this on the other one, but this one keeps going a little bit. So you'll see.
Sex slaves, James. That's great speech. You want to hear some irony? We didn't even come up with that one. You did it all by yourself. Sometimes you amaze even us.
I fail to see the humor.
Bottom line is you're done. It's over, that's it. And we did it all right to your face, James. And now there's evil everywhere. And no one even cares.
Yeah, I don't agree.
Proving that we achieved our goal. Slowly, with your movies, your TV, and your media. We desensitized you. Redirected your worldview to the point that you can't even recognize evil when it's right in front of your face.
So even just from that, let's just say I'm not shocked to know that Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. So, like that whole normalize it, desensitize it, redirect your values.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Dead on. I mean, it's everything I just said. Everything. How many people have said?
Not debating. Here we are. Hot topic, button talking. hot button topic talk, whatever you want to fucking call it. Seriously stupid. Talking about world organizations, world power, NATO, UN, OPEC. So all these countries going through all this shit, all this stuff, all around the world now. Be right back.
The message is back. I'm gonna let it run.
Holy crap. You ever feel like you got a body, a bitch?
No.
You, sir, have never been in love then.
I don't even remember the point you were just making. Oh, you were talking about the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Normalization of evil.
Yeah, basically, that's what it's coming down to.
That's the conservative side of me. That I can 100% agree with. That is, I mean, it's all the stuff we've talked about, all the stuff really decades before we even sat down for the first version of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's stuff the Epstein Island, and I mean that was really stuff under the wraps.
A lot of stuff. Well, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say,
we both got spinning gears right now.
yeah, it was with the Moloch, the owl god, fucking Alex Jones broke into the
with
place there.
Nixon or
yeah,
Nixon. For some reason, I was to say
must be something in the water.
what the fuck's the president? What was the president who was an actor? Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan. No, it was Nixon, but yeah.
I don't know why I got those two mixed up.
But this is stuff that's been uncovered by Alex Jones and David Icke and
Ventura.
Jesse Ventura and all these people. And now, which really I credit my father because he got into like conspiracy theories back in '98, and he started listening to Alex Jones way the fuck back then. And that got me like I remember for this is like a history lesson. We do current events in school, in high school. You go, you got to write a current event and then write a thing about it and bring it in, hand it in for economics class or some shit like that, or one of history, something like that. And I would always go to like jvim.com, which was a conservative Christian site, but did all news, and they'd have the weirdest news up there. It was like conspiracy theorist news, and I always bring those articles in. Because like I'd look in the newspaper and it'd be like, "Can Joe play the football game?" And like, who the fuck cares? But I go on that, I'm like, wait, OPEC's doing what? And like this, before I had any inclination I was going to be involved, like a political, anything like that. So
Full disclaimer, we are not what you want to base your fact and news from. Please, do not. Do not get into a serious discussion about something you think you know everything about because you watch this show.
Yeah.
You are going to get laughed at. They're going to say you have a small wiener. That might just be me.
Are you projecting?
No.
Oh. No, but
Gotta go.
Anyway, going all the way, like, so, like, the conspiracies and all that stuff, shit has just been, I've been around them for a long fucking time. But now what's happening is it's just all, it's become like pop culture now. Like being a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to question everything.
It pisses me the fuck off.
When they use conspiracy theorists, when they're talking about a bunch of shit, it's like, well, that's not technically a conspiracy theory, but it's like, what about Bigfoot? Like, that's not a fucking conspiracy theory. No, that's nothing to do with, like, there's not a group of, like, an organization talking about, it's a cryptid. It's like, there's not an organization talking about, there's a human man-ape thing out in the woods and different fucking thing.
You know, we were into conspiracy theories before it was cool. Now everybody's fucking.
I can legitimately say that for 100% sure, but they're all over, and I just see.
Dude,
I've just made a couple comments, like videos that come across my feed on YouTube and stuff, and now it just seems like, and I'm by no means am I like going to be one of these hipsters like, I knew about it years before, you know. I'm not that. I'm happy that a lot of these people are doing this now, because now it's making a lot more people go, well, if this influencer or whatever is like talking about this shit, it's like, well, is this going on? Because now it makes just the regular person start to question shit. It's like, this is what we, and then people like us are sitting here, especially my father and stuff has been sitting here. It's like, this is what I've been fucking saying for a long fucking time. Welcome to the fucking party. But it's not, I see these people like, there's this woman on TikTok. This is where this rant is going. That does, she talks about news and does interpretive dance to it. And
I wasn't even
like, I made a joke with you, and she talks about things going on and doing these weird fucking moves and everything. And today, just today, I came across one of her videos talking about BlackRock and owning all these big companies, like either side, and us having the illusion of choice because, I listen to Fox, or I listen to CNN, or I'm a Republican, Democrat, whatever the fuck you want to do, whatever flag you want to boast. But she's talking about how...
As long as it's not a fucking pedo flag.
Yeah, for sure. But she's talking about how we have this illusion of choice, George Carlin, but really, like, all these like few entities they're the ones that own everything. And she's talking about it, and I made just a small comment. I'm like, I started chalk another W up for Alex Jones. He talked about this decades ago. I go, but it's nice to see everybody starting to pay attention. And it truly is. It's nice to see, like, the regular person be like,
wait a minute. Hold up. Something ain't right.
And
no, that's what the regular person's doing.
Yeah. And
not the can. Not the can.
And
you got something to contribute.
Nothing.
Fucking waste of space. Fucking mooching off of our fucking fame.
They probably are owned by BlackRock. I'm serious.
I got BlackRock inside me.
Yeah. And now you're going to piss it out eventually.
Just replace the R with a C. I was waiting for that one to fully hit. Hey.
Nice way to top off that little rant.
Love is love.
That's true.
Whether it's consensual or...
And that's how...
Or not.
And that's how rape will be just pushed to the side. Like, it's nothing.
And that's why this one's going to be on Rumble too.
I love you. Anyway, that was the fucking 2 points in this whole list. Jesus Christ.
We'll have to do a 2-part one if we get too late.
Bud Light marketing VP, or two marketing execs take a leave of absence after the Dylan Mulvaney fiasco. Mm-hmm. And I guess Bud Light, they lost 17% in the first week after the 17% drop in sales, and what was it? 34% drop in volume at like local. I guess there's a place in Jersey, maybe Jersey or Connecticut, a chain of stores that's seen a 50% drop in volume moved through there. They got a shipment in of Budweiser. 2 cases came in. This is a place that they say normally they'll move about 50.
Because nobody's ordering.
No.
They're not going to fill their shelves with something that isn't going to sell.
And like I said, I think it's because a lot of people, like what you say, is like, they're going to sell all these, or like they're selling these trans cans and whatever. And it's like, no, it was a commemorative can. But I think the biggest reason is because, like I said, they forgot who their target audience was. And a lot of these people now,
kissing hillbillies.
And now, now it's going to become this trope. Like, you're drinking a Bud. Because now with the Dylan Mulvaney and trans thing, they're gonna equate it as like a lesser man kind of thing.
It's
like
not
effeminate, like an effeminate man, because that's how it's going to be portrayed. And most people, if you say, especially like you say, like the country bumpkins, and everything, it's like, I see you got a Budweiser there. It's like, you a little funny or something.
No,
and they'll be like, no. It's
funny that you say that. It's gotten to the point. It's sad that it's come to this. I saw a TikTok of. It said, "Who's in the right?" Dude flicked a cigarette, so the guy smacked his beer out of his hand. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the video, it was on TikTok.
So it's got about a 1.0 credibility rate.
No, like from the way, I think whoever took the TikTok might have been friends with the guy who smacked the Bud Light can out of the guy's hand.
Oh, so it was like a stage thing or an act?
No.
Or just kind of like a...
Like they tried to... Because people are like... Because there was a lot of comments, regardless of what beer, the person was there to have fun. The cigarette didn't go near him because the way the guy flicked the cigarette over the gate. Apparently, this dude was walking by, and it flicked this. The person's comments was, "Dude flicked a cigarette at him, and that's why he smacked the beer." Mm-hmm. But if you watch the video from the right angle, yeah, it looks like it's going in his direction. But from that angle, you can almost see like, I don't know if that was even close. Like, I don't think it was. I think it was like one of those numbers, like,
right,
flick and. So the guy walks up, starts giving the guy shit as the guy's got a Bud Light can in his hand. And he's like, yeah, he fucking drank that tranny fucking shit, smacks it out of his hand, and they end up getting into a fight.
Right.
And of course, people are like, yeah, fuck him up. So now,
mob mentality.
I saw that, and I'm like, oh, fucking great.
Yeah.
That's going to be
another divisive thing.
It's going to be it's going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to go to the point where now people are, it's like being the white person in a black room and actually wanting to order the fried chicken. You don't do it because you're afraid everyone's going to call you a racist. Now, somebody who lets, whether you like Bud Light, Bush, whatever, doesn't
Dave
matter.
Chappelle. Yeah. Like, all these years, I thought I liked chicken because it was delicious. Turns out I'm genetically predisposed to liking chicken.
So,
I wasn't even mad. I was just upset.
Are people going to be like, it doesn't matter what kind of beer I drink. You want to drink beer? Drink beer. Who gives a fuck what kind of beer? I don't drink Bud Light. Therefore, I have no intention of buying it. Do I agree with their decision to put him on a can? No. Am I going to stop buying Coors Light or beer for that matter? No. Because if that's the thing... Okay, I'm sidetracking here. So, back to the original thing. One or two things are going to happen. Either it's going to come to a point where people are afraid to drink Bud Light unless you're in the right crowd.
And that's what I think it's going.
Or this is going to be Budweiser's saving grace. Anheuser-Busch's saving grace. Oh, look. All we did was try to commemorate somebody for being empowered.
Right.
And having a voice. We never meant for anyone to get hurt. We feel it is in a very bad taste to attack people based solely on a preferential choice.
I think,
and people are going to be like, "Oh shit, people are getting attacked for drinking Bud Light." Now the trans community is going to jump on that.
I don't think they'll stop them. I think
I think that'll help them.
I don't. I think the fan base that's really speaking out right now and just not buying it. Like I don't fucking barely. I next to never drink anymore anyway, so. I next to not drink anymore anyway, so it doesn't really affect me, the whole thing. But to me, it's turning into another divisive, tribalistic thing. And the community there that are standing up and protesting with their money, which that's really the best way to, if you have something to protest, like going out and screaming and shouting and breaking shit, was just going to cause a bigger divide. But doing it silently and just be like, okay, I'm just not going to buy your shit anymore. That's going to hurt them the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Like that I mean, that's how you're going to get that kind of... because they say it all the time, is like, attack their wallet. If you don't want a certain company to do, or you want them to do something, or don't want them to do something, attack their wallet, because that'll be the quickest way to get them to listen. Mm-hmm. And that's what they're doing right now. But as a side product, you're talking about the same group that is going to look at... that's not ours. They're looking at the same thing. I just completely lost fucking train of thought. You're an asshole. It's your fault.
You're welcome.
They're going
hurt the wallet.
What?
Hurt the wallet.
Yeah, they're gonna hurt. It's the same group that's gonna look at that and be like, well, you're this, so they're going to look at everything that's happened in the last 3 years and be like, look how the left has violently attacked this, and we've done nothing. Look how the left has violently attacked that, and we've done nothing. Look how it's like, you guys are this, you guys are this, and the right is constantly pegged as racist and everything else. And the left has open racism out there against the white people. That whole demographic that's really standing up right now for their brand of beer, they're going to see all that and be like, fuck this. And then what's going to happen is what you just said right there. The guy flicks a cigarette and be like, all right, I'm done with this. Like that boiling point.
Yeah.
But then going all the way back, let's talk about BlackRock all over again. Just BlackRock as one of them. it's just one more large thing, giving the illusion of choice, and just creating more and more divides. It's kind of like tournament brackets in reverse. It's just creating more and more divide.
You have the winner, and then you have the sub brackets getting divided.
You have all the losers in the bottom, which subsequently, that's all of us watching this and doing whatever. We're the ones caught up in the mix and be like, we have all these choices. Look at all this. Like, no, we don't. We don't have any of these choices. We have, again, to reference George Carlin again, we have
illusion of choice.
Well, yeah, we have 3 giant oil companies. When he was talking about this, 3 giant oil companies, but 25 flavors and Ben and Jerry's fucking ice, probably like 100 now at this point, of Ben and Jerry's ice cream, to give the illusion of choice. Like, we have so many choices to do all this shit. Oh, it's gonna blow up.
Wait, I know what to do with it. Let me see it. Yeah, you fucker. You're
I'm just gonna do it too.
Let me just put this in silent mode.
Yeah. My phone has been on vibrate for like 8 years.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, so and at the same time, Miller's and Coors Light saw an 18% spike in their sales. So
and the worst part is I still hear people calling Coors Light chick beer.
Seriously, I mean, they're all literally. I'm going to say this.
I love Coors Light. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
So do I. Like, that was my cheap beer of choice back in the cheap light beer. I'm going to say this to all of you out there that do the whole Ford's better than Chevy and Jeep's better than fucking Audi and all that fucking stupid bullshit. Every time I hear that, I'm like, do you own stock in these companies? Like, if you insult them, they're like, fuck you. I'm sorry. I didn't know you fucking helped invent this shit. Like, it's the weirdest fucking thing to me. Going with that, if you do that with Budweiser, with Coors Light, with Bud Light, it's all fucking piss drink water. That's all it is. It's garbage fucking alcohol. If you're going to bat for it like your life savings is invested in these fucking companies, one, you're not doing any. The only thing,
obviously made a few bad life choices.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. But one,
we have.
They aren't doing anything for you other than continuing you on your path of demise. But 2, you are lining their pockets and being a walking fucking billboard for 2 things. 1, in the positive for them, and 2, in the negative for you, for that trope of, honey, get my fucking sandwich with your stained fucking shit. Now I'm just ranting and raving, but it's fucking weird to me when people go to bat for that shit, like vehicles and all that other things. I'm like, what?
All right, real quick. There's something. The way you said something kind of made me go, yeah. Maybe I'm becoming woke.
You probably are. It's all that listen.
We're not saying that drinking is going to kill you.
Well, it's definitely not going to make you live longer.
But there is a way to enjoy yourself and enjoy a beer. It's called moderation, folks.
I shouldn't have to explain that to people.
You have to. Just fucking full disclaimer. You have to nowadays.
You're true. What are you saying? I know what you're trying to say, but
I need direction. Yeah. I don't know.
But you didn't actually say it, so I'm offended.
So, yeah. No, dude. Honestly, you're right. 100%. It's all doesn't taste good.
It's all the same bullshit.
It's what you can tolerate the most of. That's your best beer.
Yeah. And back when I used to drink all the time, Budweiser would give me an instant fucking headache.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
I think because every time I drank it, never mind. I'm not going to go. I just go on to this Budweiser rant, but it did. It gave me.
I can tell you guys some stories.
It gave me an instant fucking headache.
Maybe that's what I'll do one of these days for a solo podcast.
God.
I'll sit at the table without James here, and I'll just rip off a bunch of old stories for you.
It was just a cardboard cutout of me. Not even. You just draw like a stick figure and put my hat on the top of it.
I'll hang a little stick figure from the ceiling, just kind of hanging there.
You know who else is hanging there? All of us. Or we will be if Biden wins in 2024, because he announced his running again in 2024.
Did he say the exact words?
Apparently he did.
Oh, okay. Because I heard he, in a roundabout way, said, yes, I am running for president again.
He said that a few times before, but no, Dark Brandon. There was a Dark Brandon meme that's gone around. It's like Joe Biden with like red glowing eyes. that the right made up, and the left has adopted it and actually used it as his campaign, which I think is funny because now they're just like opening usings like vote for. It's like fucking Darth Vader. Like, yeah,
Vote for me.
again, I think it's Victor Sopot from the
You will vote for Biden.
yeah.
No, I'm not. You will vote for Biden. No, I'm not. You will vote for Biden. For fuck's sakes.
If I vote for him, will you leave me alone? That's what they're gonna do.
I will.
I'm a Jedi. No, you're not. You're just fucking annoying. Whatever. I'll vote for him.
Adult Swim.
Knew it. What Adult Swim?
Oh, there was a skit with George W.
Oh my god.
He's like, I got midichlorians. All right. He's like, you will have war in the. We will have peace in the East. No, we're at war. We will have peace in the East, sir. The war is waging. We will have peace in the East, sir. Do you not understand what's going on? You will get me a taco. Okay. Yeah, it works every time. Or something like that.
I guess they're not going to have debates either. Possibly not going to have debates either. Any primary debates? Both Republican and Democrat.
Yeah, no, that's already been going on. I thought
they didn't do it
in the nomination.
Well, they didn't do it in the last one either, which I don't fucking understand. Which to me, that just seems like Trump killed in his primaries.
Yeah.
In 2015, 2016. Like he murdered everyone on stage, which is maybe the reason why the Republicans don't want to do it. But I think why the left doesn't want to do it, if Biden truly does run again, is because now they're going to see like how not capable he is, like incompetent. Because he's up on stage with some of their like more sharp Democratic candidates.
I'm sorry.
I just don't see it.
He physically can't.
I heard a rumor that Kamala wanted to run too. But then I just heard her little spiel that came out. You didn't hear that? Let me see if I can find that. She had a interview, or one of her Kamala whatever, you know, when she goes
Kamala Ding Dong.
Yeah, she goes to talk about random shit and doesn't fucking make any kind of sense.
Kamala Wanna Bing Bang. Ting Ting Walla Walla Bing Bang.
Whatever it is.
Kamala Wanna Bing Bang. I called the West doctor. He told me what to do.
What the hell?
He said, ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah,
Oh,
ting, tang,
here's a
walla,
video
walla,
that says, no wonder why they want to skip the debates. I don't know. This is what I was looking for, but... just for fun.
Turn this primary from a campaign that's about negative attacks into one about what we're for, because we cannot get re-elected. We cannot win this re-election. Excuse me, we can only re-elect Donald Trump.
We can't win the election. I mean, we can only re-elect Donald Trump. But if he's up on stage, that's a complete gaffe, obviously. But if he's up on stage and saying things like that, just whoever he's debating, it's just going to fall apart for him. He'll still get 100 million votes, for sure. Everyone will come out and vote for him. Me and you will end up voting for him before we even go and vote. And then when we go and vote, we're like, what do you mean I already voted? I mean, that's...
When did my dead grandfather vote for you? He's been dead for like 15 years.
What are you talking about?
In the name.
That didn't happen. Let me see if
All
I
I
can
could think
find
was
this.
Black Sheep. Colonel Savage, or Colonel Riley Savage. And we're proud to have him. Shut your trap, old devil lady.
Here it is.
My grandfather died. He jumped on a landmine and swore. Somehow, some way, he managed to walk into a booth and vote. She screwed us. Now I'm gonna screw her.
And yesterday was
Wait.
today yesterday.
Wait, sorry.
All right.
Tomorrow will be today. Today is today. And yesterday was today yesterday. Tomorrow will be today tomorrow. So live today. So the future today will be as the past today. As it is tomorrow. Today.
Now we need that as our president.
All I can think about is, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, and today is a gift. That is why it is called the present. Master Oogway, Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm like, Somebody.
Yeah, but you know what?
Somebody's put Master Oogway in there right now.
I was gonna say, you know what? That makes more sense though. We need a fucking cartoon character as vice president. That's what we need. Yeah. All right. So this is from Vox. So this is left-leaning. Neither President Joe Biden nor former President Donald Trump, the leading presidential candidates for their respective parties, seems to have any plans to participate in primary debates in 2024. The Democratic National Committee isn't organizing any debates, which has drawn condemnation from Biden's two Democratic challengers, anti-vaxxer Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Marianne Williamson, who also sought the nomination in 2020. As well as some former figures on the right, including Georgia Republican Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. And Trump signaled on his social network Truth Social Tuesday that he wouldn't be participating in the GOP primary debates. I see that everybody is talking about the Republican debates, but nobody got my approval or the approval of the Trump campaign before announcing them, he wrote. When you're leading by seemingly insurmountable numbers and you have hostile networks with angry Trump and MAGA-hating anchors asking questions, why subject yourself to being liable and abused? Which is what I figured. I figured Trump wouldn't go in it because he's already, by leaps and bounds, really the leading candidate. Mm-hmm. Why would he have to like subject himself to that? Yeah. There's no gain in it. Like he's not really neck and neck with anybody, so why even bother? And Biden, I don't think he's going to go in it. For obvious reasons, like all that's gonna do for either of them is just hurt him. Like if Biden goes in, it's gonna hurt him because he just stumbles over everything.
And Kamala, who is years younger and should be more capable,
she just has horrible speaking, like just awful. Everything about her, whatever she's doing, and obviously she's not doing.
I think awful. She was the marketing PR for the what was that? Gym that was advertised. I pick things up, I put them down.
Oh God, that was my old job.
I think she was their marketing PR slogan person.
Yeah, but at least that made sense. You knew what he was getting across. but yeah, I don't think any of them really. There's really nothing they can gain from it. So why even bother? Oh, geez, Louise. The DC crime bill.
Oh, isn't that the one where they're trying to pad their numbers? They're gonna lower the crime rate.
Yeah, they're trying to lower. Yeah, which this is DC crime bill, but this is for this really was brought about by Chicago. Like Chicago doing this big surprise, right? Because I think you sent me something a while ago talking about
DC or Chicago.
Like it was they wanted to lower the sentencing for armed robbery or something like that, or
there was a few
actually murder or some shit like that, but. So I wrote it down, the DC crime bill. This is from NPR. The Democratic-held Senate approved a GOP-led resolution that will overrule the liberal Washington, D.C. City Council's rewrite of the criminal code for the nation's capital. The legislation now heads to President Biden's desk, who surprised congressional Democrats when he announced last week that he would not veto the measure. So there's a shocker.
Yeah.
The vote has exposed divisions within Democratic ranks on how to confront widespread concerns over crime and public safety, which the party has historically lagged behind Republicans when it comes to voter trust. Let's see. The bill is a product of years-long review that involved various stakeholders in the criminal justice system. It passed the D.C. Council unanimously, but was vetoed by Mayor Bowser. Fucking Bowser's the Democrat. Her veto.
Peaches.
Her veto was overruled, but her opposition helped fuel GOP arguments and Biden's concern that the bill could be perceived as too soft on crime at a time when rates of homicide, car thefts are rising in the city. No fucking shit. So Chicago has like the highest fucking crime rates in years and years, decades, 40 years. And they want to lower sentencing for a shit ton of crimes. So
yeah.
At issue In what was a sweeping but otherwise non-controversial effort to overhaul DC's criminal statutes, are provisions to reduce the maximum penalties for crimes like armed carjackings from 40 years down to 24, which supporters argue is in line with the actual sentence handed down in court in recent years. There was also objection to a provision to expanding the right to jury trials for certain criminal misdemeanor offenses, which critics say would overload a taxed DC court system and result in prosecutors dropping more cases.
So basically, folks, what they're trying to do is they want to lower the crime rate by lowering the severity of the punishment.
Yeah.
So if I steal your car, 10 years ago, I'd have gone to jail for 3 to 5 years for armed carjacking. I mean, you didn't stop me when I busted in your window and jacked you off while you were in your car.
Yeah. Help me.
Because that's what armed jacking is.
Help.
So 10 years ago, I'd have gotten 3 to 5 years for an armed carjacking. Nowadays, you get 3 to 6 months. It's basically maybe not that extreme.
Right.
But figuratively speaking.
In the gaming world, we call it stat padding.
So now, and even then, you take it from let's say class B felony and turn it into a class D felony. Now, it's not even a felony, it's a minor.
If this passes quick, it goes into effect, it'll be right in time for right before primary season. Yep. So, again, like you say, price is going down.
Drops.
Look at the crime rate's going down.
All the numbers, like I said, I can't wait for next summer because all the numbers are going to drop.
It's almost like this shit was just beefed up in all these years just so they could drop them down and look at the problems we fixed that we created. But we're not supposed to hear that last part. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I'm just, crazy tinfoil hat wearer, but
tongue in cheek.
Whatever.
I swear to God, our name for this show keeps changing. Seriously Stupid, tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake. Figure your life out.
Stop drinking. Drink's bad. Okay.
3,285 cans.
Jeez. So you were talking about before looking outward. We were talking about breaking down like us from within, like the United States, and we start looking outward for whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When there's a point I was going to make, but we hadn't hit it yet, and I'm going to hit it now. Looking outward, as in like looking for other systems to work within our system. So it's like, okay, well, this doesn't work. What we're doing, our democracy, like the left likes to call it, or our democratic republic, as the right likes to call it, isn't working anymore. So we got to look outward now. What's the rest of the world doing that we should do? The rest of the world, like, I don't know, we'll just throw a random country in there, like China. What are they doing? Like, they have systems that are in place, seems to be working, at least from the from the outside looking in.
I know where you're going with this. Really quick before you segue into that, because you were doing such a perfect job, and I feel like a prick for derailing you.
Okay.
But it's not going to fail. Trust me. You're right. I don't think so much looking outward as in towards government. I think looking outward as to get ourselves involved with other countries for their social economic issues. And while we're doing that, maybe adapt some of their ideas and use them as our own.
Yeah.
I mean,
like a credit system or a score system.
What do you mean?
Or like a social credit system.
So is there a way to score it maybe?
Yeah, let's find out. Come along.
I mean, socially, is there a way to credit this information with some sort of a score system?
Well, China does it. Like, say,
a social credit score, maybe?
Yeah. From the Hill. China's social credit system is a combination of government and business surveillance that gives citizens a quote-unquote score that can restrict the ability of individuals to take actions such as purchasing plane tickets, acquiring property, or taking loans because of behaviors. Given the position of several major American companies, a similar system may be coming here sooner than you think. conspiracy theorists again talk about this so many times, and so many times people all over be like, no way, that wouldn't happen here. That wouldn't happen here.
Didn't something just happen not too long ago where they signed, I want to say very recently, where they signed a bill allowing full camera, like, oops, sorry. Full, like, I don't know, I feel like it's still moving. It is.
It's probably just...
I'm not crazy.
Oh, my God. Are you okay? You got to stop drinking those.
Okay, I'll stop drinking this. I'm only drinking this right now. Motherfuck, I didn't even hit it.
What are you doing? It's just bouncing. Relax. Jeez. Tighten it if you need to. Oh, my God. Off the rails.
Oh, it is loose.
A social credit what?
That's better.
Okay. Wow. Anyway, so what was signed?
Some sort of a bill where it was kind of like done behind closed doors, granting the government
what one?
Granting the government the full access to, like, so you know how our local town has cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now the federal government can access those.
You know, I did hear that was like maybe a few weeks ago. A few weeks ago I heard it or something like that.
Yeah, I want to say about the same time frame I heard it in too, probably a few weeks ago.
Oh, jeez. I don't know, but going further, last week, PayPal announced a partnership with the left-wing Southern Poverty Law Center to investigate, air quotes, the role of white supremacists and propagators of anti-government rhetoric. Subject labels that potentially could impact a large number of groups or people using their service. PayPal says the collected information will be shared with other financial firms and politicians. Facebook is taking similar measures, recently introduced messages that ask users to snitch on their potentially extremist friends, in air quotes, which, considering the platform's bias, seems mainly to target the political right. At the same time, Facebook and Microsoft are working with several other web giants in the United Nations on a database to block potential extremist content. This show is getting fucking taken down.
You know, when our score is going to tank.
Oh, yeah. When I first read this, when I first heard this, I'm just sitting over on the couch, and I'm like, boy, I'm going to have a shit score for this.
I'm going to have to suck some serious
water bottles,
clit or dick, just to fucking get my score up.
But
I just want a cup of coffee. Flick my bean. All right.
But yeah, for sure.
Could you imagine, Choco Booga being your barista? I want my bean flicked. I just want a large 3 and 3. Flick my bean, Uncle Solo. God damn it. Perfect. What the fuck?
Yeah, so now, here, again, 1984. Once again, wrongthink. Now they're going to get you for wrongthink, for what they deem as extremists. So us sitting here, my rant just earlier, the right and the left is a fucking machine. And
anti-establishment,
yeah,
anti-government, whatever you want to.
So
hashtag pound it as. I actually got somebody with that, and so in my work, I'm not trying to marginalize the job, but most shipping office workers I deal with are female. One of the businesses I deal with on picking up and delivering freight with my truck, she's new to the job. Well, she's like, hey, I'm still learning this and that. Pickups, putting them into the system to let your company know. Is there a way we could reach out to you? I'm like, yeah, actually, my number's on your board. And when I looked over, the board was gone because the person who was there before, I go, oh, crap, they must have took it with them. Yeah. I'm like, all right, are you going to do the same thing? Get a number of all the regular drivers? Okay. So I wrote my name, hashtag, my number. And I go, yeah, it's, pound. Here's my number. She goes, why would I pound your number? I go, I literally looked at it. I'm like,
if you know, you know.
I go, how hard do you press the buttons on your phone? Well, I have a cell phone. I'm like, how about the office phone? You have to press it pretty. Oh, I get it. I'm like, no, actually, that it's not a hashtag. It's called a pound sign. Oh, I thought it was just the number symbol. I'm like, that too.
You could also play tic-tac-toe if you really wanted.
Yeah. I go, so you could pound my number. And she goes, yeah, I'm just going to hashtag it. So now she thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. I'm going to hashtag your number. I hate you so much.
Cool. The actions of these major companies may seem logical in an internet riddled with scams and crime. After all, nobody will defend far-right militias or white supremacist groups using these platforms for their
I hope
obvious goals.
Nobody supports far-left militias or far...
anything that's nefarious. However, the same issue with government censorship exists with corporate censorship. If there is a line, who draws it? Will the distinction between mundane politics and extremism be a, quote, I'll know it when I see it scenario, as former Supreme Court Justice Potter Stewart described? That is the problem. Is it become, like we were talking about with the Restrict Act, it's so subjective. It's who's going to read it and who's the one making this call. And like, what way do they lean? If they lean too far right, that's going to be a problem. If they lean too far left, it's going to... If they fucking lean at all, it's going to be a problem. Because any kind of like...
But if you don't lean one way or the other, there's a problem now.
Yeah, because now you're doing your fucking job.
Well, no, because now you're not giving both one side or the other a fair chance.
Now you're doing your job, and we can't have that.
No, that's not even that. If you're centrist down the way... If you don't show left or right any favor, because there might be some good things on the left and there may be some good things on the right. If you don't lean either way, you're never going to see it. Now you're not doing your job right because you're not showing the benefits of a left lean or a right lean.
Well, see, now what you're doing is preaching the idea of freedom of speech. And that's fucking crazy.
We should have. Oh my god!
I'm sorry, but your hat reminds me of like. It reminds me of Castro. I think it's the beard too.
Oh, I wish I had a cigar right now. Give me a nice Cuban.
Did you hear about the? Speaking of credit scores, now having a higher credit score.
Oh, don't even fucking get me started on that shit.
Biden planned to tax
I'm this close to buying a house.
Biden plan to tax good credit scores may harm Asian Americans, increase mortgage defaults, and basically put us back in the 2007, 2008
depression
housing crisis.
Yeah. Oh. Basically, what this is supposed to... So basically, it's supposed to subsidize high-risk loans.
This is equity at its finest. There's the difference between equity and equality. Equality and equity. This is equity. This is what it is.
So... For you to have a 750 credit score, and let's say you're going to put $10,000 down on a house, $100,000. Let's use basic numbers. You have a 750 credit score. You have $10,000 to put down. You're buying a $100,000 house. Now, anybody who's bought a home or is buying a home, you learn a few things. Best way to think about it, they say, is whatever you're buying. To figure your taxes, if you escrow them in, your insurance and all that, you figure $100 for every $10,000 you're paying.
Right.
So if you buy a $100,000 home, you put $10,000 down, you have $90,000 remaining to pay off your mortgage with the taxes escrowed in, the homeowner's insurance, etc. You roughly $650 to $850, almost $900. For a mortgage payment, which is reasonable.
$750, $800. That's cheap.
Yeah,
that's good fucking.
This
payment.
is just basic numbers. Basic numbers. I'm no fucking realtor, real estate agent. I'm no loan office, whatever. So this is basic numbers. So with this proposed bill, plan, whatever, what that's gonna do is take somebody like me with a 720 credit score and X amount of thousands to put down on a house. They are gonna. There is a the mortgage fee,
And I think
it's gonna increase the mortgage fee.
I think it's 1%.
Yeah, 1 point. No, it's gonna increase 1.3%.
4, 1.3.
For me. So in
Yeah.
basic numbers, if I remember correctly, they said it was like $40 to $70.
Yeah, it
Depending
was
on the-
it was for a $400,000 house over the course of a 30-year mortgage. You would pay with their percent tax that would be added onto it. That would be like an extra $40 per month that you'd pay. So at the end of your 30-year mortgage, that would be roughly about $14,000 extra that you'd pay on top of it, which is fucking. Just because you if you have over a 680 credit score.
Here's the other side. Somebody who doesn't, and this is where equality now plays into it, because they want that equality.
That's equity. It's not equality.
Hear me out.
Go ahead.
This is where they want the equality. They want somebody, let's say I'm the 720 credit score with X amount of thousand down. I'm going to be paying now that 900 is bumping up to 950
Right.
a month. You go in with a 600 credit score,
Like a 550 or
a 550 credit score, and zero down. You can get approved for a same loan with zero down and be looking at only paying $750, $800 a month. And with a lower interest rate. I would have a higher interest rate because I'll pay it. You might skip out. They're not going to get as much money from you in the end game. They're going to get more money from me. And because and the reason I bring up the equality, and
There he goes. Rabbit ears.
okay, severe sarcastic air quotes. They want a lower, the way it was explained to me, a medium to low secure income, medium to lower secured, lower income families to be able to afford the chances to have what the higher secure, much higher income families can buy. So here's the thing. Do I understand the point they're trying to make? They want everybody to have a fair chance at having a good thing. I understand that point. But why the fuck is it fair that somebody who's put the blood, sweat, and tears into repairing their credit, building their credit, making their money, putting in all the time to get where they can be comfortably to be able to buy whatever they want, and somebody who, you know what, I don't feel like paying this medical bill. You know what, I'll let them repossess that car. Yeah, I don't have a very high-paying job, but it's a guaranteed $400 a week. I'm happy with it.
That's the fucking thing. Is like, here's the thing that kicks me. They're gonna do this, or presumably they're gonna do this, and obviously, like, rate at surface value, obviously it's punishing the guy that's doing the right thing and rewarding the one that's not, or can't, or whatever the reason is, can't, chooses not to, whatever it is. But they've already gone through this. This has been a housing crisis. In 2000, like I said, 2008, we had the recession, which that was caused by the housing bubble that just burst because banks gave out loans to people that had no fucking business taking out a mortgage. They obviously couldn't handle it. They couldn't hold it. So all these banks went into default. This is what happens. And Biden, who's signing this one, was vice president when that was going on. When we were in the middle of that. He was in the middle of that. As soon as they got in office, him and Obama, boom, that happened. And then what happened? They gave a bunch of bailouts to the huge fucking banks and everything. They got a shit ton of money. Everyone else is left in the dust. We recovered, quote unquote, with bandages and fucking toothpicks. And now here we are, what?
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, here we are 15 years later, and now he's like, oh, we're going to do this to help people. So you were in fucking charge when you did this the first time. Now you're going to do it again? Maybe this time it'll work. It's like, are you fucking out of your mind? And like you said, it's people that have high fucking credit. And if you put, the more money you put down, the bigger your taxes are going to be. So again, so I have you have 750. Your credit score,
720.
whatever. I got an
Little over
800. So it's like, okay, I've done this shit for how long? I've fucking built it. When I was in college, my credit score was like 540. So I spent years to build it fucking up as high as it is, just for the government to go, fuck you, buddy.
That's funny that you got me thinking about that. I saw another one where they're talking about taxes, future tax.
Just stress myself out. I crack my neck.
Future taxes.
Oh yeah, for
like
assumed
investing?
value.
Yes, assumed value tax.
Which that's fucking bullshit too. So that means like my stocks, my fucking property I own. It's like, well, it might increase, so we're gonna tax you now. Are you fucking kidding me? Like what? For shit that I own, like that might appreciate in value.
Here's the worst part.
That's called stocks and bonds. That's
that
fucking
stock
shit
in 10 years could fucking tank.
Yeah.
You will not get the money back.
No, you won't. You won't. Like what? How can?
And you're talking about a fucking company, a business, because that's what the government is, that last year pulled in $4.3 billion in revenue. Or trillion. Might have been trillion.
Maybe it was trillion.
And BlackRock's worth like 8.2 trillion.
Yeah, some ridiculous, ungodly number.
But we need to pay more tax.
I completely forgot about that assumed tax bullshit. And again, with the illusion of like
assumed
sides
income.
and with the illusion of like choices and sides and all that. The government right now has everyone looking at rich people, millionaires and billionaires. We got to tax them more. It's like that fucking goes beyond this, because they're creating all the government's the one that's going, oh, the rich should pay their fair share. They already pay a shit ton in fucking taxes.
But what does the fucking rich do? Hold on, I hate to cut you off. What do the fucking rich do? And I commend them for it, because these motherfuckers are players. You talk about OGs in the hood, OGs in the fucking Wall Street right there. These people have teams, lawyers, every fucking body under the sun to find every fucking loophole.
Of
and
course
they
they
will
do.
exploit it. They will do it because that's how money makes money.
Right.
You find a way to keep it.
But again, like Donald Trump said way back in 2015, so close the loopholes. And he said himself, it's like, but you know you won't. None of them will. Not a single one will, because they benefit from the same loopholes. No one will close them. And guaranteed, if we fucking got millions of dollars and we were in those spots, you create an LLC, you put all your money into the LLC.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That way, one, it protects you, so they can't just sue you. It's like, oh, I tripped and stubbed my toe on your sidewalk because the root was pushing the thing up, and now they're going to sue you. You can't, because your money's in the LLC. It's like, you can sue me all you want, but I'm only worth $70,000 a year. And my LLC has fucking thousands of dollars or whatever.
I'm not dealing with it right now.
Yeah, so and whatever I just said. But yeah, I going all the way back, I completely forgot about the assumed the assumed income or assumed value tax or whatever the hell they were gonna fucking call it. Which that pissed me off too when I heard it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, how do you, how?
You know, and going all the way back to the mortgage rate fees, mortgage fees, interest percentage rather. Here's the thing, and this is going to sound kind of bad. You get what you put in. That's 100% the backbone of what this country was built on. Mm-hmm. You know, don't let me forget about the most racist thing that they proved that Trump said. The most racist thing Trump said.
Right.
And it is straight up racist, apparently. Don't let me forget that.
All right.
So you get what you put in.
Don't let him forget.
If you're only willing to put in the minimum 40 hours and make the minimum wage, I'm sorry. But as a conscientious human being, you should understand, do not live above your means. If you want to have 5 kids, a wife, and a house, that minimum wage ain't gonna cut it. You need to make more money.
The 50s anymore.
And the more you work, the more you deserve. 100%.
Earn. But
the more you deserve. You earn.
You know what?
Earn. I throw that term out the window. And the reason I said deserve is for this. Because I could sit there and earn $34, $35 an hour doing my job.
Right.
But do I deserve more?
Depends on your job.
Depends on the job. Do I deserve less? Depends on if you know what I do.
Really, most jobs I've had, maybe this might be, I might be in the minority here, but most jobs I've had, most jobs people tell me about, and they say like, oh, I make X amount doing this and doing that, but like every job, like when we were working in the warehouse, the only thing I think I earned was all the time off I got there. Because the amount of money I got, we just pick things up here and put them over here. Mindless fucking work. Working at the school, like there's a shit ton of stuff you do, like working in electric and all this and that, but it's so fucking simple. Like, and driving truck is like, okay, what do? You go from A to B. You deal with traffic. There's
a lot of inherent risk. You could end up crossing the wire and get electrocuted to death.
But
somebody could
simple.
cut me off and put their bike under my tires, and now I've killed a human being.
But it's still, I mean, those are you're talking,
inherent risk.
Yeah, you're talking about rarities and like very obscure things that happen. But in the grand scheme, like, but it's all very easy work. We're getting way off topic here.
But no, that's why I use the word deserve, because if you're gonna put, Elon Musk works like 100 hours a week.
I was gonna say
that fucker deserves the billions he's got.
The average millionaire, this is what I was gonna say before. The average millionaire, you know how many hours they work a week? Average 59 hours a week. That's 19 over what you normally do. But that doesn't necessarily work like doing exactly what they do at their job. They might be outside of their job. Now it's turned into a fucking motivational speech. They might be outside of their job, reading shit about their job, keeping up and marketing about their, what's hot right now.
Oh yeah,
if you're in some kind of marketing or sales, something like, what's hot? What's the current trend going on right now? It doesn't necessarily mean doing paperwork about. You're like, I gotta do my homework.
I think Elon Musk said this, and this is why I love the guy. He says some pretty good shit. He goes, if I'm not working, I'm not making money. So when I'm not at work, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm researching. I'm marketing. I'm doing this. I'm promoting my business, because every time I get one more sale, or I get one more business, or I get one more idea, that's that much more money I can make.
Look at Gary Vaynerchuk on his side hustles and stuff on the weekends. Yeah. The wine guy.
Yeah.
On the weekends, side hustles. He goes to garage sales. And he flips just stuff, and he goes. Yeah. I mean, he's big when he always talks about salt and pepper shakers, and he goes to garage sales. Be like, oh, what's this going for? On like I do that now when I go to stores and shit like that. When I go to the falling off the back of the truck store, stuff like that. You look at it and be like, what's this go for? Could I flip this? Like we were just down there today, and I was just looking around, and be like, And there's some good deals down there that you could probably easily flip and 2, 3, make 4 times the amount that you actually put into it. It's just small things like that.
So. Back to really quick what I was saying.
Yeah, so we way the fuck off track.
You get what you put in. If you can earn, you could work the 40 hours at another job, making twice as much minimum wage. You earn it, doesn't make a difference.
Right.
You're still only putting in 40 hours worth of work. Your job could be just as hard or that much easier or maybe even a little bit harder, but you're still only putting in the 40 hours.
Right.
If you want to put in 50 hours, you want to put in 60 hours, 70 hours, 80 hours a week of work, you deserve more. So that's where I'm coming from with this whole, you get what you put in. If you're only going to put in the bare minimum, you get the bare minimum. You're going to put in the extra work, you should get a little extra.
Sometimes it doesn't work.
No.
So sometimes you can put all the hours you can.
Most racist thing Trump said.
Okay.
And a left, I think I saw it on a left-leaning TikTok that was, oh my God, I can't believe he actually said that. Like, he promoted slavery. He talked about the black community. I think it was during his campaign from 2015. He made the comment, he goes, the black community, he goes, you guys built America. Honestly, you guys came over and you built America. He's like, it was built on your backs, the farming and he's going on talking about how, he's like,
I think I remember this.
Yeah. So somebody's like, oh my God, how could you say that? This country was founded on racism. It was built on the backs of slaves, and he's promoting it right there. Black people, why aren't you realizing that this man is so racist?
Was it a white female liberal that was ranting and raving?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Huh. I think, that was actually a point Tucker Carlson made because someone called Tucker a racist, and he was ranting and raving about like the woke culture and everything. And they they claimed Tucker was a racist, and Tucker goes, racist? Like, I complain about white female liberals all the time. What the hell are you talking about, racist?
But right there,
Because those are the ones
right there, I hate to say this, but that's one of the things Tucker said that I did not like.
What? Oh, white.
I'm complaining about white liberal women.
Because those are the ones that you're usually screaming and shouting about.
But here's the thing. Right now, a big hot topic is reverse racism. It's not a real thing. There is no
there
such
is
thing.
no, yeah. It's,
There is no
it's
such thing
either
as
racism or it's not.
And you can ask,
I've heard about that. That's been around since the 90s. I heard that
White-
reverse racism.
if you ask, there have been plenty of TikTok videos of these podcasts with these big tables of people sitting around. Well, what is racism? When you discriminate based on somebody's skin color. So the fact that you just made a remark about me being white in a derogatory manner. Well, you can't be racist against white people because they've never been slaves. I'm sorry. White people were slaves.
Doesn't work like that.
White people were slaves before black people. It's true. Look it up. It's in history.
Yeah, slavery. Like I said a few times before, the guy at my old job, when he made a comment walking out of the cafeteria, he's like, slavery is uniquely American. And he walks out and I'm like, what?
And you're
I was
uniquely
completely. I was so dumbfounded. I
and
was like,
you're uniquely retarded. Oh,
well,
gotta bleep that.
I couldn't. I don't even. I'm bringing back the R word, but I couldn't even fucking. I'm gonna make that a shirt.
I'm bringing retard back. We're canceled. Good night, folks.
Holy jeez.
Oh, you want to bounce it? Because it's after 10, buddy.
I got one more for you.
All right, one more. Make it a home run.
Female crash test dummies. And the reason I was given anyway, was female inclusion. I'm going to let that one sink in. Let that one stew for a little bit. A little bit of seasonings in there. Let it simmer.
Caramelize it a little bit for me.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, I heard is this is actually
what are they crash testing? Crash testing dildos?
This is actually this came from.
This is what happens to a female genitals at a 50-mile-per-hour impact from a
sort of
BBC dildo.
I'll get cool. Wait,
shattered pelvis.
I want the guns that actually launched those. Anyway, I just went on a rant when we started the show about how I didn't think Gutfield was funny. Except this one that it came out when they were talking about the female crash test dummies. He goes, shouldn't they all be female? I mean, that one I laughed. I got a pop for that.
I
one.
get it.
I was like, okay.
That's awesome.
Well,
no. So here's the thing. Okay, thank God for Mythbusters. I loved that show.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome fucking show. If you pay attention, they got a base model.
Mm-hmm.
But it has sensors in the chest. If you look at the actual construction of the crash test dummies they use, they have fucking sensors over every inch of those fucking dummies.
right.
To test the impact, the G-force, the perpetual motion, all that stuff. Perpetual motion, never mind. That's something else completely different.
Yeah, I don't know. Understand? He keeps crashing. He won't fucking stop.
There's no way you could say they are. There's no way you could say a crash test dummy is male or female, because the sensors are in place to test every part of the body's reaction to an impact.
Well, I guess the actual argument is because it's actually going to replicate like a female's body, like because they got women have boobs. Well, most of them nowadays, I think, anyway. And
Just the ones I watch sleep do.
yeah, well, the seatbelt sits differently on them than it does on a man. So things of that nature, it'll test. But the way it came across, the woman that was actually promoting this, her words were, it was for female inclusion. Which I first heard it, I'm like, can we fucking stop? Can we just stop the whole? Like now, this is getting. We need. If there's male crash test dummies, there should be female because it's equal. And they need boobs.
That's the only thing I could understand. If anything, bullshit. No, fuck that shit. You know why? You know why? Let's get on this one really quick.
Right.
Perfect fucking finale for this topic, for this episode. You want to include boobs? Include a fucking bulge. How many times have you adjusted your ass because you're sitting in the truck for 8 hours, or your car, or whatever you're driving, for 8 hours driving wherever you're going, and your ass gets numb, you're like, oh.
Yeah, you do this. You shift to one side, then you shift to the other.
And what happens to your genitals?
Then you gotta fix everything.
You gotta fix them.
Yeah.
Well, what happens if you get into a car accident? Well, that happens. Your junk could be going one way while your pelvis is going the other.
Why don't we just have people take IQ tests, and the ones that don't score so well, they're the ones that'll actually be the crash test dummies. So when they're driving 80 miles an hour down the fucking thing and adjusting themselves, whammo! Like, yes. Just balls to left equals no good. Bye.
Fuck it.